Wolfpack, what is going on? It's your boy, the Wolf of Roto Street. RotoStreetJournal.com, we breed and feed you fantasy wolves here. Their week 6 start show. Ooh, mouthful there. My boy CJ having some technical difficulties with his laptop. He should be here momentarily, but we're going to dive on in because we always get a very full mailbag. Want to make sure we have plenty of time to get all of your questions in here before we hit that kickoff. I know we got another London game. These things are kind of throwing me off. I'm kind of over London games. I don't know what your guys' opinions are of it, but I love my 1 p.m. kickoffs. There's just too much going on. I try to get grocery shop. I've had enough. It's too much to have 9:30 all the way through. And I could never picture myself ever saying that's too much football, but I am not a big fan. Maybe it's because I have to do all this stuff too. But, man, it's kind of annoying to me. And I feel like our views got to go down and we don't have the same engagement that we normally would on a Sunday morning. But those of you who are here, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. On your way in, please consider hitting that thumbs up button. We're going to dive into a couple quick Thursday night football takeaways. What do you need to know from that action? All the news and notes that you need to know heading into this week, because that might inform your set start questions. And then at least an hour and a half, however long we need to get through all the rest of your questions. So get them on in there. Love to see a mailbag of over 20 questions before we even get live. Some of you camping out in the tents early. Really, really appreciate it. But let's dive into my Thursday night football recap. Chiefs, the passing game is still a little suspect. The Broncos, one of the easiest matchups in fantasy football. You only get 18, 19, depending on your scoring settings from Pat Mahomes. Really struggling to justify that every single week top 3 status when the only viable weapon he has right now is Travis Kelce. Now, speaking of viable weapons, it does seem like Rashee Rice, Emery wrote a great article on him. Go check out rotostreetjournal.com. Starting to emerge. 4 targets, hauls them all in, 4 catches, 72 yards. Not an eye-popping monster day, but certainly more increased involvement, about a 50% route rate. He's the only guy in this entire core I could see emerging as a true every down wide receiver. He looks great after the catch. Mahomes has real trust in him. I do want to shout out Justin Ross, too, every single game. He didn't do anything here, but after in the post-game interviews, it seems like every single time Mahomes goes out of his way to single out Justin Ross. Can clearly tell he's clamoring for him to get on the field. I love the kid. He was the best college football receiver as a freshman, was insane, had some nagging injuries that really sapped what was making him special, but he seems back, and it will be it's clearly a wide receiver chart that's all the way open. So you deep leaguers out there, 0% rostered right now. Justin Ross, somebody to look for. Other than that, Sky Moore, 2 catches, 22. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, no catches. It was hideous. Obviously, Travis Kelce, 9 for 124, most of that in the first half. It was a day of special teams. The Chiefs defense, the Chiefs kicker, Harrison Butker, really had their way here. So just keeping that in mind, again, for this pass catching core. You can cut MV. You hopefully didn't have him anyway. Sky Moore, though. Kadarius Toney did get a touchdown, but still sketchy here to hang on to. And Justin Watson did get hurt, maybe paving that path for Rashee Rice even more. Now, Isaiah Pacheco did dominate the work, 16 carries, 62 yards, added 6 catches for 36 yards. We're starting to see that role go up even more for him. He actually tied McKinnon for the team lead in routes, so they're giving more snaps there, 45 and 71 snaps total, well over half there for Isaiah Pacheco. He's really emerged despite not getting that touchdown for a 3rd straight week. Something to consider. Now, in terms of the Broncos, they're just trash. Judy's playing time getting cut nearly in half here. Only playing, what did it end up being here? 34 of the 52 snaps. Sutton was the main hog, 4 catches, 6 targets, 46 yards in the score. Very beautiful touchdown, too, for those of you watching. And then Greg Dulcich returns and goes back to IR. Biggest concern here is what the hell's going on with Marvin Mims? Plays just 12 snaps, 7 routes, doesn't get targeted once. The guy is so damn explosive, still not getting used. I know I keep saying he's a great bench stash, and I do imagine you hold him through the trade deadline at least, because at least one of Judy, Sutton, maybe both are going to be gone, and then we'll get the Marvin Mims show. We will see, but it does suck. And then the run game, Javonte, nice 7 fantasy points. Jaleel McLaughlin now starts the game, sees just about as much work, 10 carries for Javonte, 7 for McLaughlin, 52 yards for Javonte. He actually looked as good as he's looked probably since getting injured. He really seemed to have that burst and tackle breaking ability right back there. McLaughlin also looked good himself, but annoying committee. At this point, though, it does seem like Samaje Perine, if you haven't already cut him, useless. He is certainly going to be the last man up in this rotation, so no need to hang on to him. You need to clear out some roster space. Definitely feel free to cut him as well. Alrighty, Wolfpack, that wraps up our Thursday night football recap. I am going to first dive into a super chat now. Thank you so much, Kevin Rice and Campanelli moderating. Good to see you, brother. Thank you, Kevin Rice, for your super chat. patient waiting for me to wrap up that recap. Let me just try to find this starred here. All righty. Mr. Rice, what do we got for you? And if anybody else wants to cut the line, super chat one helps your boys out so much. They really do go a long way. It's been a while since we had that crazy, I think it was week 2, week 3, where we made over like $100 in super chats. Not that it's necessary. We're going to get to your questions anyways, but it is always so greatly appreciated. And that free way to help us is that thumbs up. Saw a couple come in. Thank you guys. It is greatly appreciated. Henry is killing me for Kevin Rice. Oh, it's brutal. I actually benched him for Mike Evans today. Knock on wood, going okay so far. We'll see how this plays out. He is so game flow and just a little bit less of that gear when he gets going. I mean, he still had it that couple weeks ago, but it is ugly. Let's check this out. D. Henry's killing me. Geno, Minshew, or Dak? Pick one. I'm going to go Geno there. And Minshew, really intriguing. I love the revenge game narrative. To me, Geno has the highest ceiling, though. That game, definitely Seahawks versus the Bengals. Feels like a nice shootout building there. Brewing. Love to see that. Madison, Lockett, or Ford. Now, if you're going Geno, I kind of want to stack him with Lockett. Since you're going against the number one team, you're going for points. You kind of play that narrative. Let's go all in. Let's dive in to Geno, bombing it out a couple times to Lockett. That's how I would likely play this. Now, I don't hate Madison. The Bears aren't an overly intimidating matchup. They are better against the run than the pass, though. And I just kind of expect Cousins, Addison, Hawkinson. That's how I see this game flow going. Madison, he's had okay stats the last couple of weeks, but the underlying usage, the snaps, the red zone role, all that's starting to diminish. So it's a good time to sell Madison if anyone possibly still wants him. I don't know that you'll ever get value for this guy. Everyone kind of knows he's a slug, and the usage is just going down, though. So at any point, he could fall flat on his face. To me, the upside play here, Kevin, and your context, definitely appreciate with Henry hurting you right now, needing points, needing upside. I think it's stacking Geno and Lockett, letting it rip. Best of luck today, Kevin. Hope you crush it. Always a pleasure seeing you. Thank you again so much for your support here. Let's rip through some news here. Quarterback, there's nothing overly impactful. We know Anthony Richardson's out, but the big news is that he might actually be done for the year. You got to stash him in the IR until we find out more. It'd be devastating because over 4 quarters, he's averaging right around 30 fantasy points per game. The next Konami code was absolutely hitting, but the injuries are adding up to he's only made it through 1 full game. It's certainly a concern here long-term wise. If you're a dinosaur, you probably almost hope they just shut him down and don't risk further injury, have the surgery, get yourself fully healthy. Let's figure this out. It was not really a big injury concern in college overly. So that was the biggest news coming out long-term wise. Doesn't really matter much for week 6 other than Minshew's playing. And honestly, one of my favorite streams. If you're in a super flex league or desperate at quarterback this week, I like Gardner Minshew a lot in this revenge game. I think 18 to 20 points are very viable. The Jags are much more beatable through the air than they are on the ground. And I just like him as a cheap DFS punt as well. Really intriguing there for Gardner Minshew. Danny Jones out for week 6. Expected back, though. Legitimate chance is the quote from Mike Garofalo that he has a legitimate chance to play in week 7 against the Commanders. Obviously, you're not going back to him. I'm seeing him get dropped in a lot of leagues, and it's rightfully so. The guy has been horrendous. I know it was one of my bigger predictions. I'm going to continue to eat the crow every time I bring him up, but I still think there is a world where this offense can get together, more so buying into Dayball than them when they get Andrew Thomas back, Saquon's back. So if you are, especially in a super flex league, if Danny Jones got dropped just for anger reasons, and even in single QB leagues, we saw it, 30 points and a half. There is explosive upside still somewhere lingered very deep below the surface here. I know, very, very deep. But I still see a narrative. And, all my best ball teams, I have them like 35, 40%. I know that's looking horrendous. But he's the type of guy. I have a lot of teams emerging. And if nobody has him on those emerging teams other than me, and he has that 30-point blow-up when it matters most, hey, maybe Danny Dimes could still win me some money. My teams are thriving without him, so keep it up. I don't want to knock on wood, but having a great season there as well. Deshaun Watson, what an absolute mess. It's apparently a deep rotator cuff issue. He's cleared by the team. He himself is not choosing to play. I don't know. It sounds like there's a legitimate thing going on, but then also, why is the team leaking that he could have played? There's a ton of dissension in the ranks here. As a Browns fan, you have to be absolutely disgusted with what's going on. I know my man Omar, if you're tuned in, let us know your thoughts. This is hideous. How could you be on board with Watson at this point as a human, as a player? There's been really nothing to suggest this guy is anything right now. So, yeah, this sucks. Also, quarterbacks that don't matter. Mac Jones, he's going to be on a short leash. I just wanted to toss this in there for those of you really deep dynasty streamers. I picked up Will Grier right when he started the Pats. His last game out, he had like 350 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns on the ground and 50 yards. there's rushing upside there. And if you're desperate, I could see Greer ultimately getting starts for the Pats. And he has showed the ability to rack up fantasy stats. So I'm talking very deep dynasty leagues, 2% owned right now, even in dynasty. I wouldn't hate checking out Will Greer. And I hope the Pats give him some burn because it's clear the Mac Jones era, whether it should be or not, is over here in New England. And Mr. CJay, on that note, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, doing not bad. Yeah, you had yourself quite the weekend, huh? A little wedding over there?
Yeah, like when you're so hungover that you're like, oh, this may I don't even know how it feels to be normal. I'm like,
you just don't even know who you are anymore. Yeah, they get so bad as the older we get. Like one hangover day becomes 2 hangovers, becomes a week. Like, yeah, it sucks. So
not looking forward.
Glad you still made it.
Feeling good. Yeah, I need a new laptop, so all super chats today going to the laptop fund.
Hey, all super chats support the CJay buying a laptop fund. That would be awesome. We certainly need any help we can get there. Because the laptop looks like it's on its last legs over there. I will only support it if you finally convert to a Mac guy. It's pretty pathetic that you're not.
Never. I'm a Windows till I die.
Well, this is what happens is the crap that you're dealing with right now. The company card will pay for Macs only.
It's true.
Running back news. Saquon Barkley. We're just talking about Danny Dimes. It does seem like Barkley could actually go. The team is hopeful that he's going to play it out. Optimistic is the exact words from Schefter's source. So I expect him to be in there. This does put people in a tricky spot. This is one that I have to ask myself, CJay, is I have Barkley. I also have Chuba Hubbard, who is now clearly starting. And one of our next notes was that Miles Sanders is officially out. We kind of knew that heading into the weekend anyways. You got a guaranteed 15 to 18 touches probably coming for Chuba. Obviously a much lesser player. Similar bad situation here in terms of offense. Which way would you lean between Barkley and Hubbard if you had that type of decision to make?
If you're guaranteeing that, are you like risking the chance that he may not play?
Well, you got to because he's playing on Sunday night. So there's like a chance that we probably won't know. And so my backup would be like Wan'Dale Robinson, which is not great, obviously.
Yeah, I'd probably just go with Chuba then. If I'm gonna do a little deep dive on Twitter and see what's.
Yeah, it sucks. Like I hate to be in this situation because obviously if it was guaranteed, you want to go Barkley, you want to play your studs. Yeah. And even though they're optimistic and hopeful, the fact that there's no Daniel Pennies, we'll call him from now on as Tunes penned. No more Daniel Jones, though. No left tackle here. It's still a bad overall offensive environment. Like maybe they just decide why risk Saquon tonight. Let's wait till week 7, divisional game, Commanders. So there is a chance he just gets ripped out from under you. And Chuba's in a pretty decent spot. Dolphins should blow them out, which means a lot of dump off time for Chuba. The only risk, somebody brought this up. I was listening to a stream yesterday. Like, what if they just decide to get stupid and make Raheem Blackshear the pass catching back and Chuba the early down Miles Sanders role? That wouldn't be great for anybody. The reason you're playing Chuba is comeback mode, is dump offs, racking up some receptions in half in PPR leagues. I like Chuba. He's my running back 20. I think he's a nice safe floor. I wrote about him. If anybody wants to check it out on RotoTreeJournal.com. If you're weighing Chuba Hubbard, let us know your question. But I wrote about the guy. He seems like a good bet for 15 to 20 touches. He averages 0.8 fantasy points per touch. Nothing elite, but nothing bad over his career. I think you're going to get a good 12 to 15 points here. He stumbles in the end zone, maybe he even crosses the 18-point threshold. He's averaged, anytime he's seen 2/3 or more of the rushing share, he's never scored less than 10 fantasy points. He's hit as high as 18 points. So it's a low ceiling, high floor type of play. It's not going to win you your matchup, but he probably could. It's Chuba Hubbard. He could lose you your matchup. It's freaking Chuba Hubbard here we're talking about. But I think he's not. I think he's a good bet for 10 to 12 points. And that's probably where I'm ultimately going to go this week in the Saquon one. We'll see how Mark Andrews does and if he has me in this huge freaking hole as he is so far, being an absolute a-hole so far in this game. But yeah, I'm probably going to go Chuba Hubbard. So I know that was 2 notes kind of wrapped into one to help you guys out there with Barkley. Questionable but optimistic to play. There's really no great backup plans either. Like when you look at the Sunday night game, a Giants receiver, Wan'Dale is your best backup plan. That's not great against the Bills defense. The backfield became a committee if Barkley sits. You really want to use Eric Gray? No, of course not. And then I guess honestly, if you're going to go for the risk, my favorite backup play might actually just be Michael Gallup. You're putting Saquon in your flex. Michael Gallup against the Chargers, the most points allowed to wide receivers. I've seen Brandon Cooks cut a few times, and maybe him. They're not great plays. The stuff is also kind of a shit show there too with the Cowboys, but that's probably preferred to then go to the Giants in a bad matchup. I'd rather just go there. all that to say, though, let us know if you have Barkley questions, backup plans if you need them. Jahmyr Gibbs is out. Obviously, another smash week for David Montgomery. Even if Gibbs was in, he's a smash play. Montgomery looking like one of the best picks you could have possibly made. In fantasy, I'm thankful I have him on probably well over half my leagues right now and redraft, a good amount of best ball. Do you have Montgomery anywhere, CJ?
No, I actually one of
he
my
was an
teams.
RSA guy too. We were all in on this guy.
I know, and one of my teams is about to fall apart with Justin Jefferson out, and so I tried to deal Jefferson for Montgomery, and I got denied.
Yeah, not at this point. You know what's funny? I was testing out one of those projects working. I'm not going to reveal any details, but involving some AI. And 2 weeks ago, I asked who could be a good running back to target for Jefferson before it got hurt. The AI spit out David Montgomery wouldn't be a bad call. And I was like, this thing we can't release to market. It has no idea of who could be comparable targets for each other. And clearly now, maybe it sees the future. Maybe we're building something that just it actually predicted Achane before he broke out. Maybe we gotta release this thing. It's pretty nasty. Sneak peek for you guys. We got something brewing behind the scenes that's seeing the future apparently right now. So yeah, Donta Foreman also starting at running back for the Bears this week with Roshan Herbert out. I've always been a Donta Foreman guy. Let us know if you have a question.
Yeah.
Maybe it's my partial to just humongous running backs. I've always been. I like them big. I like them plodding. I like them getting into the end zone, baby. Like Eddie Lacy. Oh, I can still get off to that, man. I love the big backs. So Donta Foreman, you're 233. Just the type of guy that gets better and better as he wears down a defense. The only risk is if the Vikings get up big early. We've seen Foreman get flowed out. Ultimately, though, he is an okay pass catcher, and they really don't have anyone. I think they signed Darrington Evans off somebody else's practice squad. There's nobody else. It's really, truly going to only be Foreman. I could see them turning to Evans. He is a pass-catching guy. Should they get into a game flow? But it's not without the realm of possibility that Foreman could get those touches, could get those passes as well. So I love him. He's only 4,400 on DraftKings. I do prefer Chuba Hubbard, who's going to be probably more popular, though. So it really depends on what you're going for there. The other guy I like in that price range on DraftKings, and I really like as a stream, is actually Salvin Ahmed. I wrote about him on the website here, and this is the last backfield note we really want to dive into. Getting a lot of questions about him, and rightfully so. We know Raheem Mostert, smash play, top 5 running back play. Honestly, I think I have to bump him up the rankings. I forget where I have him at right now, but it's probably not even high enough unless he's number 2. Such a high upside play. The second best matchup for running backs. So I have him below right now. Montgomery, Eckler, Pollard, Robinson, and McCaffrey. Honestly, I think I might move Mostert above all of those guys other than McCaffrey. And there's a case with McCaffrey playing against Cleveland. Mostert could outscore him. He's in a smash spot. The Panthers are so bad. Second most points allowed to running backs. Most touchdowns allowed on the ground to running backs. But that also brings up that the number 2 guy here is likely to be viable as well. And in my opinion, it's going to be Salvin Ahmed. He was running earlier this season as the number 2 guy. He then got hurt. And then ultimately in week 3, he was a healthy scratch after Achane had come back and taken over the role. And people speculating, well, Chris Brooks was active ahead of him. I personally believe that Chris Brooks is just a special teams play. That's why he was active. And they were up by, 70 points against the Broncos? They just put in their third string guy at that point, and he ended up looking pretty good. Everybody looks good in that offense. I don't think that's a sign that Brooks has leaped Salvin Ahmed. I still think he's the next guy up. He looked phenomenal this preseason. He had one kind of it was him versus Gaskins. They had almost like a tryout battle in a game, and Salvin Ahmed ripped off 130 total yards, a touchdown, averaged 9 yards a carry, 10 yards a catch. He looked great. Every running back in this offense looks great. So I do think Ahmed is a very strong play. Should he be that number 2 guy? And that, again, is my prediction. If it ends up being Brooks, he's the one you're going to want. I personally think it's Ahmed. He's a top 30 running back play for me. I'm plus 20 ECR on him. Maybe I'm nuts. I just think anybody running in this scheme has tons of value, and I could see this being such a big blowout that they turn the keys over to the number 2 guy. And again, I think that's Salvin Ahmed, and I think he's a phenomenal stream. So let us know if you have questions over any of the Cardinals backs. He's honestly, I'm almost thinking about putting him in over Chuba Hubbard. I don't know if I'm going to do that. It feels sexier, to be honest. I almost kind of want to. CJ, talk to me. Am I nuts about Salvin Ahmed? Do you think it could be Chris?
That was the longest Salvin Ahmed dialogue I've ever heard in my life.
I know. I just love the guy today.
I've always been kind of a fan of him, but honestly, that's just such a weird spot. I could also see Mostert just doing most of it, even though they do kind of like to do a little committee there. I wouldn't, if I'm super, super desperate, I guess I could stream him, but I'm not like dying to stream him.
So you're not going over Chuba Hubbard?
No.
All
I think I'm going Hubbard first. That's my guaranteed volume.
Yeah, guaranteed. Well, see, I see. Yes, I know Mostert. This is not a downplay on Mostert. Like I said, I think I might move up to running back 2 in my rankings. More so, I could see them being up by 30 in the first half, and then just not wanting to put Mostert at harm's way, and let's line it up with Ahmed, and he gets. I could see him hitting 18 carries today. And if he gets 18 carries against this defense and this offense, he's going to have over 100 yards and a touchdown. I know that sounds nuts, but that's my bold prediction of the day is Salvin Ahmed. He's kind of my week 6 flag plant random dude today. Let us know again. Obviously, again, I'm not saying bench your studs for Salvin Ahmed, but like I got a question earlier, Stevenson over Ahmed, and like Stevenson can't be considered a stud anymore because the Patriots are so damn bad. He doesn't look good himself. I think I still said Stevenson just because the Raiders are a good spot, but I don't know. I'm just telling you guys, I'm in on Ahmed today. If you're desperate for a running back, he's only 14% roster, at least entering the morning. So check that out. We did get a super chat, 2 super chats coming in. Oh, Chillard with a big one. So thank you so much, Chillard. He definitely wants to support CJ's laptop fund. Money for CJ 2K. Hey, he actually starts off with it. Nice. Thank you, Chillard. We maybe we'll have the money here to buy something. But tell him, Chillard, that he needs to get a Mac. That we're not paying for another stupid Windows. It's gonna just crash on him today. But let's see what we got for CJ.
Started Ross on Thursday Night Football. Didn't go well.
Why did you start Ross on Thursday? CJ, what? Chillard, what are we doing here? Like you always have the craziest plays, and I like stashing Ross and see if he emerges. But what in God's name? I think he's 1% rostered. Never mind started. Chillard, what are we thinking? What is this, like a 32-man league? Like, okay, let's continue on, but I had to just get that rant out there. Chillard, what are we doing?
And then he has this guy, Devontae Parker. So sit star, Jonathan Taylor, Devontae Parker, Kenny Gainwell.
I mean, come on. Like, ultimately, am I worried about John Taylor today? Sure. Last week, he played second fiddle to Zach Moss, who looked absolutely phenomenal. There is certainly some concern with Jonathan Taylor. All week, though, he's apparently ramped the workload up in practice. They've talked about ramping it back up in the game. And when the other 2 options are Kenny Gainwell and Devontae Parker, I don't care how much risk is associated with John Taylor. You lose your fantasy locker room if you put Devontae Parker in over John Taylor. Let's be freaking real here. I mean, come on. So I'm going John Taylor. I really can't. Like, I know the risk associated with him today, but is it any riskier than playing either of those 2 bums? It's Jonathan Taylor, and this offense is great. They're churning. They're running the over the 5th most plays in the league. I think they're up to 3rd now. And they actually played faster in Minshew's last start than they did with Anthony Richardson. I was checking out those stats earlier today. They have no problem handing the keys to Minshew and keeping the pace. That's why I like Minshew as a streamer today as well. So I like this offense still. And I think Jonathan Taylor without Richardson actually benefits. I think the running game in general, because they're not getting vultured at the stripe. Minshew does like to check it down as well. I actually kind of like Jonathan Taylor today. I know there's risk with him. I certainly don't like Devontae Parker and Kenny Gainwell either way. Do you have anything to add there, CJ, other than Chillard's an absolute lunatic for starting Ross and mentioning these 2 in Jonathan Taylor's name?
I don't have much to add there.
Chillard, we love you. You're a lunatic. I'm not gonna lie. Like starting Jonathan Ross, like what? That's the definition of wanting some Thursday night juice and like completely missing out. I think he's a great stash though. I really do think there's a world where he ends up becoming a starting wide receiver here. How is that hard to see when you got Sky Moore being useless? We've said cut him since week 1. I know you wrote about it, CJ. It's not an impossible depth chart at all to ascend, but we got to see him ascend it before we actually start tossing him in there, Chillard. But thank you so much again. I know we called you a lunatic, but we appreciate your super chat. We love you, Willard. Thanks for always supporting the show. And then we got another super chat from Mr. Fella.
Anthony Fella, what's up? Wolfpack PPR, sit one of these. Lockett, Gabe Davis, John Taylor.
See, this is definitely a much more reasonable Jonathan Taylor question. These are the guys that belong in the conversation. And honestly, in the full PPR as well, I think Taylor is my sit here. I just really like both of those receivers. I've been much higher. Every single week so far this year, I've been +5 or more on Gabe Davis. And that's panned out every single time except for week 1. Ever since then, he's been a top 30 wide receiver every single week. He's been top 15 in over half those weeks. The man's getting it done, and he's getting it done in a nice high volume role too. These last couple of weeks, 6 catches over 100 yards. It's not just a pray for a touchdown and a Hail Mary. This is actually an involved Gabe Davis, and he's looking great. There's no ankle injury this year. Can you imagine if Gabe Davis was doing this last year when he was a 3rd, 4th round pick? he would never be in sit-start questions. He would be an every week locked-in starter based on his production. He should be. The fact that he had that dud year on a bum ankle has everybody questioning him every single week, and I don't get it. I think Gabe Davis has pretty much earned locked-in status for me. And then Tyler Lockett's just a great play, really any week with Geno. So I think I go both receivers there. But CJ, any thoughts on Daddy Davis and kind of his rebound this year? Are people good to be? We get so many questions about him every week, and I feel like it's an auto Gabe Davis for me almost every time.
See, now I have an easier way with Jefferson being out for me, but I have been going back and forth with him and Nico Collins every week, and I've picked the wrong one every week. So.
Yeah. That's a viable one. That's where you can question Gabe Davis because Nico has been an absolute hog too. But now, I guess that's not a bad fall, but it sucks that you lose Jefferson. Clearly, neither one of them are going to replace Jefferson. But if that's your bench, you're not dead. You're not drawing dead at this point if you lose Jefferson and you have Daddy Davis to step in for you. This is where he abandons you, though. Right when you need him the most.
No, I need him
Dad leaves you. But do you agree that you go both receivers over Taylor, or would you consider?
I can't. They said they are going to ramp up Taylor a little bit more this week, but I'll give it another week if I had this situation.
Yeah, if you have good enough options.
Chillard's, where I think he's a little bit better than Devontae Parker, but
Jonathan Taylor slightly boost to Devontae Parker. Yeah. This is an example of where you could question Taylor for sure. All right, wrapping up with some receiver and tight end notes. Mike Evans, a full go today. I benched Derrick Henry for Mike Evans earlier today. So far, so good. We'll see how it goes. But Evans has been an absolute smash every time he's made it through a game. And even when he got hurt against the Saints, he was roasting Lattimore the entire game. He was up to like 30 yards in the first quarter. Really just looking phenomenal this year. Him and Baker have a great rapport. To me, Evans at +5 ECR. Smash. If you have him, he's in your lineup. Of course, if you have a question, let us know. But I'm all in on Evans, as I always am. Jordan Addison, and 11th most points to wide receivers against the Lions. They're good. The Lions are a really great team overall. If there's any way to beat them, though, it is through the pass. Much better front seven than back half. Jordan Addison off the injury report. Great to see because he's going to now be leaned upon. This is your boy, CJ. Are you expecting humongous things with Justin Jefferson out for Jordan Addison, or what are your thoughts?
I'm a little nervous about it. I don't know if he's ready for the number one corner situation right now.
We'll see.
He has been incredible. But Justin Jefferson obviously just takes so much away from defenses that I do like KJ Osborn a little bit better, honestly.
You'd rather start Osborn over Addison?
No, I feel if I actually had to make that decision, I would go Addison, but it would not surprise me if Osborn was better.
I like them both. Honestly, this team is top 3 in total pass plays, pass rate over expectation, whatever passing metric you want to look like, they're at the top of it. And I know, obviously, Jefferson accounts for a huge amount of that, but I think they're going to remain that way with Kirk Cousins, with such a bad defense. They're going to need to keep the air under the ball. And I think Addison is just going to step right in. I agree with you. You're dealing with number one corners, and some weeks will be a concern. When you're facing the Bears, who don't really have anybody of note, anyone you need to worry about, I just think it's a target show, and he goes pretty ballistic today. I really like Addison. I think he's around 5,500, if I'm not mistaken. On DraftKings, Osborn's only 4,400. Double stack him up. Of course, TJ Hawkinson, to me, he probably becomes actually the alpha here, and it's a low A-dot roll. I get that, but he can streak down the field. I think he smashes today. I should have had him as the tight end 2 over Andrews. I forgot to change it ahead of the game today. I'm all in, obviously, on Hawkinson. Everybody's on Hawkinson today. But I think Addison, Osborn, you got to start both of them. I think this game shoots out. That's the game I'm targeting myself on DraftKings today. I'm a big fan, and I'm a big fan of Addison. This is the time to see what he's got here. T. Higgins, questionable, but expected to play. There is the decoy risk. We've had that happen plenty of times with T. Higgins. He plays a snap, and he's gone. So if you wanted to bench him, I wouldn't blame you. You have to have pretty good options to do it because I like this game. I like this game environment. Seahawks, this is the first time that they've had the entire secondary healthy, so I know that the on paper have been a good matchup for receivers. I still question if that is truly the case. So Higgins is technically in a good spot, at a good game environment, good matchup. I just don't know if he's truly going to play, but they have the bye looming. So I imagine if it was truly an issue, they wouldn't be playing him here. They would just let him sit one more week, have the bye, and then be really ready to go. So I don't think you're going to get decoy T. Higgins. But how scared would you be of T. Higgins today, CJ? Like on 10 being panic, 1 being like – actually the other way. 1 being panic, 10 being you feel great. Where would you kind of fall in on T. Higgins?
If 1 is full-on panic, I'd say about like a 3 or 4.
So you're pretty panicky about it. You would not want him in your line.
Yeah, I wouldn't really want him.
His play really hasn't justified. Like, even when he's been in and healthy, it hasn't been great so far this year. So yeah, if you have good options, let us know. What you got with T. Higgins. I know Toons will have a T. Higgins question. He always seems to have something about T. Higgins. So let us know what you guys are considering with him. In terms of the Texans wide receivers, you're going to have Tank Dell. He'll be out today, unfortunately. But Robert Woods is expected to play. Noah Brown being activated. Woods is an okay desperation streamer. He actually leads the Texans in targets right now, which is crazy, given how well we've seen Nico produce, Tank Dell produce. Woods is actually the target leader on the team. He's old. He's cooked. He's not doing anything with the looks. But if you're desperate, 7 to 10 points probably likely from Robert Woods. I'm kind of considering him versus Wandale. I'm figuring out a bad wide receiver 3 decision myself right now. Marquise Brown expected to play. He's been a monster this year. You got to just keep rolling him. Even though Josh Dobbs is nothing special, you got to keep riding that one for sure. Zay Jones is out. Definitely boosts up Christian Kirk's target stats. He's become a 100% snap player when Zay Jones is out versus week 1, where he was about a 70% player and really was dinged up because of Zay Jones. At this point, Kirk has really proven that he should be an every snap guy in Zay Jones' absence, so I imagine that will remain the way. But certainly when he's out, it's another reason to smash Christian Kirk today. And then Wandale's off the injury report. Not a great spot to use this guy really any week, but maybe he gets something cooking with Tyrod Taylor if you're absolutely desperate. I don't know. Not something I'm looking for. And then wrapping up with 2 to 3 quick tight end notes and a couple defensive notes as well. It looks like, do we have a super chat? Is that why Campanelli's popping up here? We do have a super chat. Thank you, Campanelli, for the heads up. Mr. Trey Sarasenko, before we move on to tight end, thank you so much for your support of the show. What can we do for you?
Wolfpack, Ritter, Minshew, and then also who's a better stash? Miller, Dowdle, Mason, Bigsby. Thoughts on Deontay Johnson? Should I keep holding on to him?
I would say a couple quick things here. Thank you again so much for the support, Mr. Trey Sarasenko. I go with Minshew over Ritter for sure. I know Ritter flashed that upside last week, but it is so game flow specific. They got down early. They had to throw. It was good to see that when they get in those situations, Ritter can put up those type of stats. Against the Commanders, it could go any which way. I think this is a fun game there. I could see it shooting out and the Commanders getting an early lead and they have to go back and forth. I could see the Atlanta Falcons getting an early lead and just running some more with Algier, not Robinson, and everybody wants to puke by the end of it. So to me, I think Minshew is just the safer play, gets the revenge game narrative. I'm going to lean that way. Do you feel similarly, CJ?
Yeah, I like Minshew a lot.
I really do.
I always have. I think their offense would probably look better than it was with Anthony Richardson. But I would go Minshew there. And then what about your stab with the Deontay Johnson question? It seems he already said that he's going to be back next week. So I'm definitely holding on to him.
Oh, yeah. Definitely holding on to Deontay. So then brings us to just stash. And if we're talking purely just a stash, to me, it's actually Rico Dowdle. Now, I don't know if you're on Yahoo, Mr. Trey Sarasenko, because they don't play till Monday night. And if your league allows bench churn, pick up one of the other guys. Why not, right? See if they get an injury. To me, and again, we're talking about pure stash, I would go Dowdle first and then probably I want to say Mason because of how good that zone running game is, but I just don't know if Eli Mitchell becomes the guy ahead of him. Mason's looked really, really good in backup duties. We know he's one of our guy Grant Cohen's favorites. He loves Jordan Mason. So I want to say him, but I just think he'd be contending with Mitchell. So to me, it's probably Bigsby. Kendra Miller is like the last on this list. He's actually an okay plug and play today. He had 90 yards total last week. He looks better than he's looked all year. But Jamal Williams comes back. It's truly the Kamara show already. And I just, even with injuries, he would need 2 running back injuries to fully realize his value, where everyone else on this list, or at least Dowdle and Bigsby, just need 1. So we're talking pure stash. To me, it's an easier path to their upside for Dowdle and Bigsby. And if you can do just like Bigsby today, see if something happens at 18, nope. All right, chop it and go to Dowdle. But if you can't cut people that have already played, I would just start with Dowdle. I don't know, though. What are your thoughts on these guys as stash? Did you feel any differently, CJ?
I like all of them. I don't think you can really go wrong, but with just like how bad Pollard's looked and ETN's like workload right now, I just can't see that sustaining. I do like those 2 probably the most. Probably Bigsby then Dowdle.
There you go, Mr. Trace. So, yeah, especially, again, if you can go, Bigsby today doesn't do it, then you can go Dowdle on Monday night. I think that's a great strategy. I do it on Yahoo all the time. I pretty much exclusively reserve a bench spot for like running backs. And on Thursday night, I'll pick up a guy. Nothing happens, cut it. I just kind of quickly go through the handcuffs throughout the week. But of course, again, you need to check that your league allows that. So back to tight ends real quick. Thank you again so much. Some generous super chats. We're about 1,000 away from a new laptop for CJ, folks. But thank you guys again so much. Your support, it really does mean the world. Sam Laporta in a walkthrough did participate, and he is trending in the right direction according to Schefter. It is a 4 p.m. game. You got to have a backup plan ready. But it does seem like he's going to be able to give it a go. And, man, we love it. I said it last week. We love Laporta, and he delivered 2 touchdowns for you. It was a smash spot for him, but even with St. Brown back, you got to keep playing this guy. Absolutely killing it in fantasy. A lot of the best fantasy picks this year coming from the Lions and Montgomery and Laporta. Me and Treat will have to do like a mid-season award show. Maybe we'll do that. It's right around mid-season next week. So we'll try to figure out a time to do something like that because it's always fun to dive into who have been the real true season winners for you and who do we expect to maybe emerge that hasn't quite done it so far this year. That's always a good show. So we'll think about that one. Schefter did say Darren Waller is expected to go. Obviously, I don't even know if he loses value with no Daniel Jones. He's been that bad. Maybe Tyrod Taylor honestly sparks this offense. We will find out. To me, we saw the role last week. It was good. What did we end up having? Like 86 yards. You have him in all your leagues, CJ. He actually did okay last week, right? Like 80 yards.
I think I'm benching him for Logan Thomas this week.
Oh, that's a good one. Logan Thomas, one of my favorite tight ends of this week for sure. I might do that. I think I don't know if my rankings reflect that quite yet, but I was listening to our guy Scott Barrett. The Falcons, they already on paper give up the second most points to tight ends, but then you look at like the schedule, Justin, it's even more so. It's the type of coverage they run, like 2 highs, and Logan Thomas has been smashing that all year. So I do actually really like the Logan Thomas play. He's only 3,500 on DraftKings today too. Big fan of that as well. I actually might go. He's safer. He's 11 targets last week, more than McLaurin and Dotson combined. Like Logan Thomas is cooking right now. It's tough, but yeah, I think I'm gonna have to change my rankings. They might actually reflect that already, though. Let me see real quick. I actually had Logan Thomas 9, Darren Waller 10, so I was already there. So there we go. I still think most of you will probably play Darren Waller if you have him, but it's definitely a bigger risk than we'd expect. And then just 2 guys you probably don't care about. Dawson Knox is expected to play. It does make it so Kincaid not as streamable. Juwan Johnson's not playing, but that tight end situation is such a mess anyways. Doesn't matter. Now, we do want to make sure to cover just a couple quick D-line notes, or just defense overall and offensive line. So Andrew Thomas, as we said, for the Giants is not playing. It's another reason why the Bills' defense is going to go bananas today. Darius Slay not playing against the Jets. That does definitely improve the matchup for Garrett Wilson. I know Zach Wilson's so tough to trust ever. But this Eagles secondary has not been what they were last year. They're still terrifying up front. But they've actually been a top 10 matchup for wide receivers. The number 3 matchup for tight ends as well. And losing one of their key secondary members doesn't help. Now on the other side of that game, I think this is much more impactful. Both Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, the 2 starting corners for the Jets, are out. On paper, it obviously looks horrible when both those guys are in for any passing game. But if there's ever a passing game that could probably manage that, it is A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. Now that they don't have to deal with those guys, now they're getting second stringers in there. I would have no qualms at all getting both those guys out. I know on the Thursday show, high or lower Hail Mary, Devonta Smith was one of my lowers at wide receiver. This is why, though, you got to track the news. And we mentioned that Sauce Gardner had an injury going on and that we would flip this tape. I'm completely flipping the tape because not only is Gardner out, but again, DJ Reed, both their starting corners are out. I think this actually could end up being, I hate because it's like our clip on our website now is Devonta Smith, sit him. I actually could see him going nuts, like the squeaky wheel narrative. He hasn't been much of a complainer compared to A.J. Brown, but we saw this last year. He had like 1 game with 0 catches to start the year, and then right after he had like an 8-catch, 200-yard explosion. He had 1 other dud in last year, and then again, he followed up with a huge boom. And now this is a matchup that's kind of ripe. So I think I'm going to end up eating some crow on the sit Devonta Smith. I'm telling you, if you watch that clip and now you're here live with us, I'm reversing the clip. I wish I could delete it, but we have people commenting and asking about it, so we can't do that now. So yeah, I think you fire up both Eagles guys. Do you think the same way, CJ?
Yeah, I love Devonta Smith. I know he has been kind of disappointing, but I wouldn't be sitting him.
Yeah, part of the argument too is A.J. Brown He has a whopping 48% of their air yards, like 30% target share. He was the squeaky wheel, and my God, has he been doused in grease, showered in grease. He has been absolutely bathed, but I do think it is Devonta Smith's turn to get the target shower today. I think both those guys. I mean, Jalen Hurts is probably going to go really under-owned on DraftKings because nothing's sexy about it. But with those two corners out, it could just be another feast. They actually, as good as he's been, I think he's averaging almost 28 points per game. They have one of the worst red zone offensive efficiencies right now, which is so counter to what we've expected from the Eagles. So they've been a monster, and they still have so much room to potentially grow, which is just terrifying. And then Jalen Carter, speaking of the Eagles, one last injury note. He is out. They kind of probably saw the Jets on paper, but it does help out Breece Hall, my higher running back of the week, getting one of those absolute – he has been so sick. I saw a lot of stuff about how like the Lions – could have had him instead of trading down. Instead, they traded Swift, so they they have Jahmyr Gibbs and didn't get Jalen Carter. Now the Eagles have Swift and Jalen Carter, and Swift looks as good, if not better, than Jahmyr Gibbs. So as good as the Lions have been, definitely some question marks. Like they could be that much better. Imagine if they had Hutchinson and Jalen Carter on that D line. Like scary stuff to imagine. But hey, they got a 12th overall running back that they celebrated and flipped tables for, and they choose not to ever use. That makes sense too. All righty, I think that wraps up everything there. A little salt tossed. I love the Lions. I shouldn't be so salty about them. I'm so happy with what they're doing, but man, they could be that much better. That brings us to the questions, the comments. We got 35 of you here. As said, those super chats so greatly appreciated. It really does help us out, especially with CJ needing a new laptop at this point. Anything will go to the CJ Laptop Fund. But if you need a free way to help us out, that thumbs up button is a free way to do it. You can also cut the line by calling in, and that brings us to Mr. Campanelli, looking great in the Scally cap today. How are we doing for Sunday?
Hey, Stat Boy Mod Campanelli here. Let's go. So, quick question: KJ Osborn or Curtis Samuel?
I'm going.
I got KJ Osborn. I'm a big KJ Osborn believer. I think you were there. We missed you on the Wednesday, the waiver wire show, Cam. I know you texted me right after. But I talked about KJ Osborn at length. He's my number one waiver claim, even above all the running backs, because whenever he's been out, whenever he's been targeted because somebody else has been out, 6 or more targets, games with those, he's had 14 or more points in 10 of 12 times. So he's been very, very steady, very consistent. Top 20, and I think 9 of those 12 games. He gets it done. And now it is that question. He hasn't really done that without Jefferson. It's more so Thielen's this time. Now, if the coverage is rolling his way, will he continue to handle it? We'll see. But I feel really good about Osborn. It's not a scary Bears secondary. We know he's thriving in this role. We know how great this offense is. I go Osborn. That's more of a Curtis Samuel, back-to-back 18-point days, also a good option, but that offense feels a lot less sturdy than the passing attack of Kirk Cousins. Who I wanted to actually mention in the QB notes too. I know you gave me a little tangent here, but he did say he would not waive his he would not waive his trade clause, and he wants to stay with the Vikings all year. So that has to make you feel a little bit better about maybe Jefferson coming back. At least these guys for right now, Addison and Osborn, sustaining their value too. That Cousins wants to remain with the team and plans to, because otherwise I could see Jefferson getting shut down. So a lot of long-winded answer, but I'm going Osborn over. Yeah, you brought up a lot of good talking points, Campanelli. So I'm going Osborn over Curtis Samuel. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, no, I'm right with you. As I said earlier, I really like Osborn. I just have a good feeling about him over the next 2 weeks.
I think he's going to be great with him out. So, yeah, love the Caps. And when you come out here, Campanelli, there's actually – I know we talked about you coming to a live show. There's a group – I ran into a guy at the Anchor, this restaurant that you'll have to check out if you ever make it to the North Shore. He wears a Scally cap, and he handed me a business card called the Scally Cat Mafia. So there's like an underground group on Facebook, like a private group that you have to get the card and invited to. So if you ever make it out here, we can maybe induct you into the Scally Cat Mafia.
I love it. Also, I just wanted to bring to your attention, too, that Giants-Pats game could be the battle for the second pick overall in the draft. So,
maybe we make our way down to the Jersey and see which team can suck the most. That could actually be kind of fun. I love that.
Yep.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Great to see you, Campanelli. Thanks for the call in, as always. I really do like the Scally Cat. That's a great look. Cheers. All righty. Let us now bring in Giuseppe, another RSA legend. I kind of want to crack a beer. Every time I talk to Campanelli, for good reasons, I want to crack a beer after. So let's get to Giuseppe and get something to drink.
I'm going with a little apple cider today.
Ooh, nice.
No vodka. So Giuseppe, happy Sunday, fellas. Let's get this dub. Laporta or Kittle? PPR.
I'm going Laporta. He's so steady. I guess it is a little riskier now with him potentially sitting, but Dan Campbell's been so open and honest about the injury report. Like, I think he's good to go. If he says he's good to go, he's good to go. I like going Laporta. What about you?
Yeah, he's expected to play for Jeff Darlington. I like Laporta too.
He's just so steady. Yeah, and compared to Kittle, who's obviously last weekend 3 touchdowns, showed absolutely bananas. But it comes with the loads too. And this is like a gross Cleveland rainy day, windy. It's just so up or down there. I don't love Kittle. He's my tight end 5, but when I have an option like Laporta, I'd rather go steady. All right, flex PPR for Giuseppe. I'll let you click him, CJ.
No problem. Flex PPR, T. Higgins, Daddy Davis, or Spears. Spears is too early. But
that was before he even kicked off today. I go Daddy Davis. Spears wouldn't have been in consideration anyways. I don't know how he's doing. That's the one thing I do hate about having the London games. It should be fun. It should be football throughout the day, but we go live now. I have no idea what's happening. I have Mark Andrews. I'm hoping he's doing something. Probably what he wasn't in the first half. It's kind of making me real pissed. I'm going Daddy Davis over T. Higgins, no doubt.
Yeah.
I'd love it. I love Daddy Davis.
Spears has 3 yards. So.
Yes, Andrews has 3 yards still. That's it.
Yeah, Spears.
Oh, Spears.
No,
what about
Spears,
Andrews? I'll pull up Andrews real quick while you're doing that. I gotta check my matchup. All righty. Next one up. Justin Fields or Geno?
Yeah, he's doing nothing. 27 yards, 2 receptions.
God damn it.
Then Fields or Geno? Go with my guy Fields. Best quarterback.
You gotta go. Yeah, I love Fields today. Back-to-back 4 touchdown days through the air. It was crazy. Like, he's had over 30 fantasy points in back-to-back weeks, and over 75% of his points have come through the air. So, I mean, there is a world where he does what he's doing and then also runs for 90 and a touchdown, and then he breaks, 50-something points. I love Justin Fields right now. And against the Minnesota team, there's going to be days where it's just going to come crashing down, but I don't think it happens this week. I'm all in on Fields today.
Love to hear it. Brent Estrella, defense to start today, Raiders or Rams or Falcons. I do have Logan Thomas. If he scores, I'll lose points.
You can never play. It's so hard to be like my fantasy defense. And, if Logan Thomas, if the correlation with Logan Thomas is like, of course, come on. I do think the Falcons probably are my favorite player. I mean, the Raiders against the Pats I have those guys neck and neck as my 2 favorite streamers. Part of me likes the Falcons a little bit more just as an overall unit because could see the Pats like running the ball really well and just becoming a gross, like no real turnover, nothing special happens. But man, they've been a great matchup to target too. I think I go Falcons here. What about you, CJ? I mean, Rams against the Cardinals isn't bad either.
Rams are my survivor this week, but I think I'm gonna go Rams here. I mean, the Patriots, we say this every week, but they can't be this bad, right?
I know they are this bad. I believe in that. I just don't know the Falcons are anything special. Touchdown going to King Henry. Thank you, Campanelli, keeping us informed and in the loop there. I'm going to go Falcons. My final answer is the Falcons. But, yeah, they're all, like, intriguing streamers. I like them all, for different reasons.
Giuseppe, half PPR, start Zach Moss, Ingram, or Gibson.
I'm going to go Moss there. It's such an unpredictable backfield right now, but while he's got that hot hand, I think the team might continue to ride it and ease in JT still. The other options just don't intrigue me at all either. So I'm going to go Moss.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. Juan Pena, good morning, fellas. Loving the show as always. Haven't seen Wolf open a beer in a long time on the show.
Well, okay. I didn't even need his prompting, but now am I supposed to like chug this now for Juan Pena? Maybe at the end of the show, right before kickoff, I'll give you a little guzzle, Juan Pena.
Sober Sundays.
Juan Pena is still here, so he came here at 9:55, well before the show. If Juan Pena is here at the close of the show and comments "chug a beer" when we're about to sign off, I'll chug a beer for Juan. How about that? That's the deal. Juan Pena has to stick around till the end of the show.
Who for my flex and tight end spot? Samuel, Mason, or Amari Cooper, and then tight end Schultz or Laporta.
I'm definitely going Laporta. That's the easy one there. Then we got some interesting options here for the flex. I think I still go Cooper. PJ Walker rather is not great, but he's at least like done okay. He made DJ Moore a very viable play. when he took over there in Carolina last year. He can funnel the ball to a number one receiver. So I think the Cooper funeral is a little bit overstated. I don't think Deshaun Watson was that much of a big factor. I think Cooper's just a really good player. So I'm definitely going Cooper there, and I'm going Laporta. What about you?
Yeah, definitely Laporta, and then Cooper will buy a little bit over Curtis Samuel. Definitely not.
Yeah, I like Curtis Samuel, but I mean Cooper's a real player, and PJ Walker's fine. Like the downgrade from Watson to Walker really, I think, is not that much. Maybe I'll be wrong, but again, we saw DJ Moore put up plenty of numbers. I hadn't even thought this through because I hadn't really thought about Cooper. I had just kind of bumped him down when he was ruled out. I like Cooper today, so I'm bumping him up. I'm putting him right now. I mean, KJ Osborn versus Cooper is where it starts to get tricky. I like Cooper, though. Like wide receiver 33, 34. I think that's a fair spot for him. And I have Curtis Samuel quite a bit lower, like 48. So, yeah, I think it's Cooper.
Yeah, I'm with you. Juan Pena again for my second.
We got another big super chat from Chillard before we can get or Kevin Rice, somebody. It's usually it's the Chillard number, but somebody super chatted $10. Hold on.
Yeah,
it is, and Kevin Rice again. So we got 2 super chats. We're going to show preference to the the big bunny here. CJ, we might get you a new laptop after all today, huh? Chillard's really putting it out for us.
Hey, there he goes. $10 for a joint chug. I have to work today, so I have my cider.
All right. Sure. I just cracked this Miller Lite, Willard. So here, let me put it into a glass for you while we get to the other part of this question. What else do we got? Over under the day. CJ, what's your favorite?
Oh my god, if I gave the people my touchdowns last week, when I had 4 touchdown parlays that hit last week that were unbelievable.
Why did you have one today? So I know that's been your big thing. You were texting me all day about. I love those ones that you had last week.
Oh my god, I had 3 that were between like plus 1,500 and 2,000.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah! Printing money last week. So I would say, I know Willard wants the over under, so we'll give him what he wants because he's he's paying. But Willard, if this is more so about just like making money, CJ on the touchdown bets has been absolutely A+. So I would definitely recommend that. Did you see that like first touchdown parlay that hit for like plus like it's like a $10 bet for like $100K, and it wasn't even crazy names. It was like Kittle was the craziest name on the list, too. So I know first touchdown bets are like it's psychotic.
Last week was like the most chalky betting day ever. I saw like everyone of my friends was hitting. Everyone on Twitter was hitting. It was like every single player that was supposed to be. That was like with fantasy last week. Everything was just like coming up.
And we nailed the other one too. It was, and I think we might have given this out on the show. At minimum, I know I texted it out to a bunch of friends. It was the adjusted like Devin Achane 100 yards, David Montgomery 100 yards, and there's one other running back. And it was like plus like 10,000. It was insane. It seemed so obvious. So I got to pull up the board for over-unders. I know we're spending a lot of time here. But again, Chillard giving us $10, helping CJ afford a new laptop. That's what we're going to do. Over-unders 2023, week 6. And then CJ, do you have a touchdown parlay like already?
Yeah, I do. I just put one in earlier. Let's hear what you got. Plus 3,000, 5 players. Bijan, Mostert, Hawkinson, Kamara, Cup.
Bijan, Mostert, Hawkinson, Kamara, and Cup?
Yeah.
I like it. Bijan's honestly the riskiest one, but
yeah, he shouldn't be very risky last week. It's so annoying. Last week he had to like do like the most incredible catch ever. And
that's why you always go him, and he's always the one that gets me a little skeeved because Algier is so annoying. And
they'll get down in the red zone, then Ritter will run it in, or Algier. They'll like let him go down to the 5, and then Algier will score. But
I do love the rest of those. Like I think that's a phenomenal call. Cup is like the other one that I could see having a monster day without scoring, but he could definitely score. I think he's going to have at least 10 catches, one of them going for a touchdown. That doesn't. I
was thinking of doing his alternate 10 catches or plus 100 yards, something like that. But
and Willard, my favorite over-under, I haven't even looked at the full board, but I've already stumbled on the game I know I'm targeting in DraftKings, and that's the Bears-Vikings. It's only 44.5. I think that's an absolute smash play. I think both of these offenses have proven very capable these last couple of weeks, so I love hitting the over of 44.5. I honestly would tease that thing up almost to like 48.5 if you want to get a little spicy here. I could see that game easily hitting 50 points. that game going like nuclear, really. Like the way Justin Fields has been playing, I know Jefferson's a big loss, but I think Cousins is so serviceable, and the weapons are still really good there. And both defenses blow. That seems like an insane number to me. This is the classic one that like Vegas obviously knows more than us. But like, I don't know, 44.5 for that game seems like a no-brainer. Is there any others you're seeing, CJ, that you love?
This one's, I don't know, this kind of popped out to me, but the Bills Giants 43.5. I could see the Bills getting 40 by themselves. So maybe we just need a touchdown from the Giants. But.
I could see the Giants getting 0 myself as well. I don't know that I want to touch that one. I actually don't hate the Colts Jags one as well, just given the pace of play. For the Colts and Doug Peterson can keep net, they're 44 points. So, and I always want to go for an over, not an under. So I kind of like the Colts Jags for 44. I think that could be an intriguing matchup. So I like both of those. The Seahawks Bengals feels nice at 44.5, but I have more faith in those defenses, like randomly just showing up and a lot of pressure and Burrow getting a little dinged or whatever happens like that. That one feels a little sketchy to me. I love the other two though. I think maybe parlay those ones together, Willard. Or at least tossing a sprinkle on 44.5 Vikings Bears, and then 44 for the what was that? The Colts Jags. I think both of those are good.
Another player prop that I love is Donta Foreman over 1.5 receptions. Fields has been chucking the ball down so much, and he's really the only running back today. So.
Yeah, that's not bad at all, and he can catch. I know he's not like known as a monster, but that's good. Go ahead and put that in like a crazy parlay or anything. But yeah. All right, there's some bets for you. I feel really good about those over-unders for you, Chillard. Hopefully those hits. The chug. Shit. I took some sips, too. I don't want to – why don't we get Kevin Rice's super chat? I'll get another beer in here.
Yeah. Kevin Rice, thank you for the 2. Hi again, Henry with 18. And then would you go Madison or Lockett?
Thank you again for the support, boys. Yeah, so we talked about this one, right? Like oh, no, because now Henry, so the context has changed, and he needs the safer play. So now he's wondering which way to go. See, all you got to do is give him some bulletin board material, Kevin. He came to the show. Derrick Henry saw your comment that he was killing you, and now he goes. Now he rips. I still think I go Lockett, though, especially if we're going Geno. Like, you need both plays to hit. You're facing the number 1 seed. I still like Lockett over Madison. The Bears are sneaky decent against the run. They're not great, but they're okay. And Madison, the underlying usage just has not been good. At any week, he's at risk of Akers. Akers just looks way better. Akers can get it done. I don't want to trust Madison. So I'm going to go Lockett and Geno. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, I'm with you there. And especially if the Bears offense continues to look the way it is, they may be scripted out. Never know.
I know. It might end up being a shootout. I really think that game could go bonkers. Famous last words. The Wolf curse has been set, but I really do like that game.
Halftime, 3-0. I
have. Yeah, exactly. Field goal best for that game. I haven't chugged a beer in a very long time. This could be ugly. But why don't we pull up some more questions, and I'm going to try to power through this. This is going to hurt. It's not even noon yet, and I'm chugging.
My body would reject that right now.
I think my body will reject it. So if I have to run real quick, Wolfpack, I apologize. But here we go.
Next question. For his second league. Who for his receiver 2 and 3 and flex? I'll pick 3 of these. Samuel, Atwell, Higgins, Downs, or Schultz?
Not too bad. I'm only down actually easier than I expected.
Okay, there you go.
Good stuff. All righty. Juan Pena, back to you. That was like less than 5 seconds. That wasn't too shabby, huh?
Yeah, that's good.
Hey, we'll chug for super chats. This is the way I whore myself out. Is anybody wants some chugs? Family dinner. Sorry, Ma, I will not be making it to supper. No, I'm making it to family dinner tonight.
So pick 3 of these: Samuel, Atwell, Higgins, Josh Downs, or Schultz. I'm going Samuel, Higgins, Downs for me.
I'd like Tutu Atwell this week. Definitely not Schultz. I really like Downs too. I think I go Downs. Yeah. I think I might just bench Higgins. Like the risk of him, I really like all the other options. It's either to me, you keep Higgins in, you hope for the shootout. Atwell, Downs are the locks for me, though. It comes down to Samuel, who's been really good these last couple of weeks, but could just disappear in the blink of an eye. I really like Atwell's spot this week. He's got a good matchup. I know the other two guys will dominate work, but now that Van's gone, Atwell's outlook for the rest of the season has gotten a lot better. He's still in there every play. He can break a long one at any time. I just like Atwell. I really think the kid can ball. So I'm going to go. I'm going to bench Samuel, I think, here, unless you just want safer, and then you just bench T and don't risk the decoy. But, yeah, not bad options by any means, Juan.
Fraser McDonald, start Komet or wait and see for Laporta? I'm feeling Laporta's going to play, it seems. Someone with
I think Laporta's going to play. Komet's also a top 6 option for me this week just because I love that game. But I'm going to go Laporta there. Yeah, I'm good with that.
DJ Johnson, happy Sunday, happy PPR. Jameson Williams, JSN, or Craig Reynolds?
Not Craig Reynolds. Well, I guess he got some burn, but that's the only real blow in the blowout time. These other options aren't great either, though. I think I would, if one of these big plays, so you're going to JSN or Jameson, I think. I don't think they're going to blow out the Bucs, so I don't think Reynolds is viable. He really did only get burned when they were up big. So I can't go to him. I guess I go to Part of me does think, and maybe it's because I just recently scooped him up in a league. I feel like JSN post bye week, the tackles got healthier. They were playing a lot of 2 tight end sets. So that they were among the lowest in the league in 3 receiver sets, but they took JSN in the first round. He was better than Olave and Garrett Wilson. At a certain point, he's going to have a breaking out party. I don't know if it requires an injury or if they can just start running the actual 3 receiver sets. We see it all the time, though. After a bye week, a rookie just kind of explodes. I almost feel better about JSN. I feel like that the Lions don't love J-Mo. I don't know. He's a good blocker, though. He'll endear himself to Dan Campbell with some of those blocks he was laying. This is a really hard one because I can see either of those two guys having their kind of coming out party this week. Gun to my head, I think I'm going to go JSN. What about you, CJ?
I think I'm just going to pray for one bomb from Jameson.
Yeah, it's fair. I think you're praying for a bomb either way with both these guys, and JSN has not been getting bombs. That's for damn sure.
No.
Yeah. Because JSN really is not a guarantee to even be on the field. Something in my gut tells me he's okay today. So I don't know. I'm going to go JSN, but JMO also makes sense.
Sticking with DJ. Full PPR, need 2 running backs and a flex. James Cook, Ramondre, John Taylor, Breece Hall, Drake London.
I think you got to go Breece. He's my favorite here. I'm probably going to go James Cook in a really nice spot. Flex gets tricky, and all these options have their warts. I think I go Jonathan Taylor of the Ramondre, Drake London, Jonathan Taylor group. What about you?
Yeah, I think I agree with Cook and Breece, and then I'd probably go Jonathan Taylor in flex.
Yeah, so we're lined up on that one.
Lucio, half PPR flex, need one of these. Mixon, Taylor, Myers.
I would go, man. I love Myers. I really do. Revenge game. I got to go Mixon, though. Seattle's not a great run defense. He's been steady. He seems due for a blow-up game with this offense, getting their kind of gears back. Could see a multi-touchdown effort for Mixon today. I think I'm going to go Joe. What about you?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of first.
Yeah.
We're there together again. Fatty Mateo, the most dominant rushing effort this year versus the Eagles was Kyron's pathetic 13 carries for 53 yards last week. Bears give up 34 points per game to the running backs. I'm starting Madison over Breece, and you should too.
Hey, there we go. I mean, some pumped up steam. I know Kevin Rice, you were asking about Madison. Fatty's coming in with some decent stats about Madison over Breece. I think without Jalen Carter, I'm not as scared of this Eagles team. I think Breece, I'm going to side with the talent, and I'm going to go Breece Hall there. But you bring some numbers for your argument here, Fatty.
Yeah.
Who would you go, Breece or Madison, CJ?
I'm going Breece.
Yeah.
Would you go Breece over Christian Kirk? I have that dilemma in one.
I like Kirk's match. Is it full PPR?
Half.
That makes it tougher. I think I go Kirk. He just feels safer.
I have Breece right now, but I have to change that maybe. Matt Stevens, full PPR, need one of these. Moss, Ahmed, Demercado. Any considerations on choice if he needs some upside?
I kind of like Ahmed here. I do. And especially if you need upside and you want to burn for Ahmed late in the game. I like Ahmed here. What about you?
think Demercado.
Oh, I don't want anything to do with that backfield. Keontae Ingram comes in for like 10 touches.
Yeah, kind of gross.
Nobody performs.
Actually, if you're going
okay.
upside, Zach Moss.
Yeah, 35 points last week. This is just a really gross. Like someone in those three is probably going to hit. To me, I think Ahmed has the best path. But if you tell me Zach Moss is getting another 20 touches, I think Spencer Taylor again. Like obviously it'd be him. How many times is the team going to keep doing that though? Until Moss tells him not to, maybe, and Moss just goes crazy again. I don't know. He is the craziest player in fantasy to me, like the most unexpected. I would say
because he's so bad, but he's like
like as crazy as Puka and Kyron have been. The Zach Moss revival has been insanity. I mean, come on. I think I like Ahmed though. I really do. I have a really good feeling about him this week.
Brendan Uthman. Good morning, fellas. Bench one, full PPR. Ayuk, Hollywood, Gabe.
I got a bench one. It's Marquise for me. What about you?
Yeah, I can't. That offense just kind of gross. Even though we did kind of like it a little bit more at odds, but he did kind of fall back to earth last week.
You got to go Ayuk though. You can't bench Ayuk here.
Yeah.
No, it's Gabe and it's Ayuk for sure.
Yeah. Sarah Riley, would you start Rashad White or Brian Robinson over Ayuk? No.
Nope. Not over either of those guys.
And then Tua or Fields.
Oh, that's a good one. I love them both. I got to go Fields with this one though. I'm all in on that game in Fields today.
Yep, QB1. David Pittman or Garrett Wilson PPR.
That's close. I owner bias call it, but I'm going. I
think I'm going Pittman.
I'm going Wilson. And Pittman's nice and safe with Minshew, but I like Wilson today.
XY Zipper. Good morning, Wolf. You have Ramondre over Ahmed. Would you start Ahmed for more touchdown upside, or would you stick with Ramondre?
I think I got that one. I've gotten this one like 8 times since I posted about Ahmed. I got a lot of questions on that one. I have them like 2 spots within each other, right? It's not. I'm on the bench Ramondre train this week. It's a tricky week to be on that because the Raiders are really bad against running backs and just a bad defense in general.
Didn't he destroy them last year?
He did. He destroyed a lot of people last year, though. This is not the same Ramondre. It's not the same Pats offense. It's just somehow crazy. I didn't think the Pats could get any worse than they were last year, and God, they are proving me wrong. That line is atrocious. Ramondre doesn't look like himself. Zeke is a slug. It's just gross. Honestly, don't you? I would go into Sunday feeling better about Ahmed in my lineup. This is the classic one where everyone's fed up with Ramondre though, and then he has like a 27-point day, and it's like against the Raiders, and we all should have seen it coming. But I mean, if you need TD upside, obviously the Dolphins are a better source of TDs. So if you need upside, we have not seen a glimpse of upside from Ramondre or anything really Patriots related. I don't know. I'm gonna go Ahmed. I think. I don't know, CJ. This is bad.
I'll let you go with Ahmed.
You're gonna go Ramondre, or who are you?
I don't know. I mean, they both suck. So I'll roll with you with Ahmed today. We don't need to.
Man, it's getting ugly out there, folks.
KJ Frederick, Foreman or Chuba? I'm going Foreman.
It's such a tough call. 43 and 4,400 on DraftKings too. So a lot of millions of dollars could hinge on this question as well. If they end up needing one of those running backs. I like Chuba, especially in full PPR, better upside. Similar touch workload coming for these guys. Chuba has the only bad thing would be if Blackshear actually ends up making this a committee and Blackshear takes over pass catching duties. That could happen. Frank Reich does seem to prefer committees. So if Hubbard loses out on those touches, he's going to be borderline useless today. Because it's not going to be good out on the ground game, in my opinion, for him. But I'm banking on him still being the lead pass catching back and hauling in 5-ish balls. So I think I lean Hubbard here because Foreman's much riskier in terms of potentially getting game flowed out. That game becomes one where you need to be throwing to win, and it becomes the Justin Fields show. That's kind of how I see that game going. Could be the Foreman day too. He's done it before. I go Chuba Hubbard here.
I'm going Foreman.
You're going Foreman, okay?
Better offense. Jay DeBull, thoughts on which one to start? Ahmed, Foreman, Ahmed.
The second Ahmed. Not the first one. No, I go Foreman over Ahmed, and I love Ahmed, but I feel better about Foreman. Safer, it seems.
Yeah, I'm with you. Ground and stop, standard format, KJ or Chuba?
I kind of like KJ. I'm a KJ Osborn guy. It feels like there's a little more juice to him than Chuba Hubbard, even though Hubbard's the safer bet for touches. If you're not getting the reception points, I'd rather hope for a KJ Osborn bomb.
Yeah, I'm with you. Brandon Usman, bench one, full PPR, not benching DJ Moore. Actually, well, you may have to. Moore, Evans, St. Brown.
I'm benching Evans there. I know I said at the beginning of the show I'm an Evans guy, but I mean these other options are just too damn good. You can't bench Moore or St. Brown right now. Yeah. Wow. Can you move one to get upgrade somewhere? Yeah, that's tough, Brandon.
I'm with you. Grind don't stop. Kickers, Tyler Bass or the Dallas rookie.
I think I go Bass. I mean, the risk is they just score touchdowns all game, every play. But I think you'll get some. I think you'll get some field goals there too.
It's kind of a wild story too. He didn't play football until a few years ago.
Yeah.
Jay DeBull, how can we be sure Salvin will get significant work in this game? He's barely played.
We can't. It's not a guarantee by any means. Just based on the early season depth chart, the fact that he didn't play because they had Achane and Mostert going absolutely bananas. To me, I think he is the number 2. There is a risk it's Chris Brooks, and Ahmed does nothing. That's why it's risky here with Ahmed. I feel good about Ahmed. I think that's the guy. But yeah, I don't know. We'll find out today. I think any piece of this backfield in offense is valuable. That's how good this is historic. If you want to know the numbers, go read my article on Salvin Ahmed. It's on the site. Getting of any piece of this, if you're desperate, this is where you want to tie your horses. Is this backfield? Is this offense? And my horse is tied to Ahmed. We'll find out if it's the right bid or if it's Chris Brooks or someone else. They're going to blow out the Panthers, and they're going to need to run the ball late to just bleed out clock, and he's my bet to do it.
There you go. Brian Fitzpatrick, happy Sunday, boys. I'm watching my Titans play since 7:30. Hope your teams have a great day. PPR in the flex. Madison, Brian Robinson, Reynolds, KJ Osborn.
I like here. I mean, all intriguing options. I think I like Madison the most. Really like Osborn too, though. I like Brian Robinson. I mean, I like them all. I kind of want to go Osborn. What about you, CJ?
That's tough.
It is very tough.
Coin flip between Osborn and I think Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Robinson has the risk to get flowed out, though, at any minute. So I think Osborn, I want to see how this passing game goes, and I have a good feeling about him and Addison today.
Yeah, let's roll with Osborn. Daniel Dung, half PPR. London or Lockett. I can't trust
Lockett.
it.
Yeah, as good as London could be against Washington, smash matchup. It's all game flow. It's too, it's such a risky bet every single week.
And then half PPR, Curtis Samuel or Cooper.
I can't believe Lockett hasn't eclipsed 60 yards. That seems wrong, but it's probably right. Clearly, Daniel Dung knows more than me on that one. Wow, that surprises me. That Lockett, he's got such good chemistry, and they're going to need points and yards. I would go Cooper here. I think Cooper is getting a little bit trashed. He might end up being a good DK play because no one's going to want him. I got to look into that. What Cooper's price is going to be. Interesting. But I'm definitely going Cooper over Curtis. What about you?
Yeah, most definitely there. Val Puka or Ridley? Ridley's been sneaky bad, but
he's been good lately though. He had a massive game. I love Ridley today in that matchup, but I'm still going Puka. I will not bench Puka at this point. He showed he could do it with Cooper Kupp. I think 90% of the offense is going to run through those two guys and Kyron Williams in the backfield, and that's A-okay with me. Can't
jam them both in.
Yeah.
Justin Vetter, what's good? Wolf, full PPR, Brees or Addison?
I'm going Addison. I want pieces of that game. I think he could step into that wide receiver 1 role. Let's go. I'm going Addison. What about you?
Yeah, probably. Brees is so good.
He's so good. No Jalen Carter, but
yeah, I think I'm gonna go Brees.
All right, you're split there, Justin. Let us know what you decide.
Mahmoud. Hey, Wolf. Who would you start between Charbonnet, Mingo, JSN, Dotson? Need a receiver.
Oh, we need two of these? Oh, boy. I'm going to say we're already rolling in the weeds for a flex, but we need two. Mahmoud, I love you, man, but what are we doing this year? This is rough. I think I go JSN and Dotson and just hope for a long bomb from either because Charbonnet, I like that he's getting a little more work, but he's strictly a handcuff right now. If he gets more out of the bye, great. Mingo, I mean, he has the best playing time of all these guys. They're going to need to throw. Still don't. I like the talents of Dotson and JSN. I'm just going to bet on talents if I'm going this low in the weeds. And I'll go with those two guys and hope we get a touchdown out of them. What about you, CJ?
Malik Willis is playing, by the way.
Yeah, Tannehill got hurt. Yeah.
With this, this is horrible. But yeah, let's go JSN and Dotson. Hopefully JSN gets targeted more than like 3 inches in front of the line of scrimmage.
I know. See, what are we doing?
Doesn't make any sense.
So bad.
Michael DeGanji, full PPR. I need a running back and a flex. Stevenson, Brian Robinson, and Logan Thomas.
Man, Brian Robinson's the running back. Logan Thomas first, Ramondre. Oh, man. This feels like the week where we tell everyone to bench Ramondre, and Ramondre has like 25 points. But can you bench Ramondre for a tight end like Logan? I think he can. I really like Logan Thomas today. In BPR especially. Like, he just keeps getting more and more involved, and Ramondre looks worse and worse. I don't know.
Double Commanders?
I'm just not invested in Ramondre enough to like really recognize how bad of a struggle it's been. That's also why I feel no qualms benching him because I didn't draft him anywhere. I didn't really love the play. It's gone even worse than I would have expected it to go. I'm going to go Robinson, Logan Thomas. I don't know. Call me crazy, but I'm just not in on Ramondre at all.
Actually, I was looking at stats. I was going to look at Ramondre for a second. And
look away. I'll take my salute and then let us know what stat you're looking for. We got Jory. What's up, Jory? Providing the RSJ Athletic, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Brian Robinson.
Oh, you go.
What did you say?
No, I was reading it. You can go.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were looking at a stat. So you can go. I'll let you read your boy Jory's.
Half PPR, B-Rob, Mike Evans, Garrett Wilson, Osborn, or Samuel.
It's Evans. It's got to be Evans. And I love Garrett Wilson today. I do. I love Brian Robinson in general. I mean, we talked about Osborn. These are really good options, Jory. I don't know how we can consolidate some of this depth. But to me, at the top of this is Evans for me. Do you think similarly, CJ?
Yeah, and he actually texted me because he had to go for a second. And I said that you're going to probably pick up Mike Evans. So,
yeah. You were right. Who would you pick, though?
I'd probably go Evans. Garrett Wilson would be the only one that I would think of it, but yeah, go Evans.
Yeah. And people are weighing in. I love that the chat's interacting with each other, helping each other out. Foreman all day, no comp for carries. Great to see. That's we like to answer your guys' questions, but help each other out in the chat too. Nothing wrong with that. Boost the algorithm for us. You're sitting there anyways, waiting for your answer. Help some people out. See a question that you want to answer. Add them in the chat and start talking with each other. I love that. Build the community, baby. What else we got? Luke, I guess there's a pause right now, so we could ask for those thumbs up button too, guys. That's another good way to help us out. Getting your questions in, asking those questions. Super chats, of course, to cut the line and really support CJ's laptop fund over there. But the thumbs up button, also a nice, easy way to help and support your boys. Thanks again for spending your Sunday mornings here with us. We continue forward with Luke McNulty.
Should he start Hubbard or Foreman?
Yeah, we got that one a couple times now. I'm still going.
Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Unplugged. I kicked my mic by accident. But we're back. I go Hubbard though. You like Foreman though, right?
Yeah, I'm going Foreman too.
That's gonna be you
gotta get as many pieces of the Bears offense as possible.
It's true. I really love the Bears offense, but I think it's gonna go all through Fields. I really do. Especially if the Vikings, there's just a bigger risk of the Vikings scoring up big and Foreman can receive it, but I could see them just deciding like, no, we're gonna go to Darrington Evans. I think Hubbard just stays part of the game no matter what, even when they're getting destroyed. So I'm going to go Hubbard.
Brandon Usman, do you trust Jonathan Taylor today or go with Foreman or DeMarcado?
I think in that case, I go Taylor. What about you?
I think I kind of want to go Jonathan Taylor.
No, it's just so hard to bench Taylor. Like, I'd rather lose I'd always rather win, but like, it would have pained me more to see Taylor go off on my bench and then Foreman gets 2, than putting Taylor in, he gets 5. At least you went with your stud. Your locker room can respect you. He knows you have faith in him, so he's going to come out soon. There's a lot of vibes to put on the atmosphere there. Go Taylor.
Andres, good morning, fellas. Jerome Ford or Pittman?
I got to go Pittman. Pittman absolutely there. Jerome Ford's such a big question mark, especially against the 49ers defense.
Yeah, let me see. Tunes, started Spears over Ford, not feeling too good about it. Do I roll out JT or Ford in my second flex spot?
Yeah, I had Ford higher than Spears in my rankings, but I have JT higher than both, so I'm sticking with JT there.
Yeah, of course. Tunes, Cousins or Tua? He also has Addison.
I still like Tua. I do like the stack. That's nice. If this is the same league and now you're suddenly chasing a bunch of points, maybe you do just go for the stack. But Tua is just a monster. How do you bench him? 80% of times I'm going Tua. The only guys I have above him are Fields and Josh Allen. That's yeah. I go Tua, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. Thomas Medina, Buenos Dias, amigos. Tight end stream. Otten, Hayden Hurst, Knox, Kincaid, Gracias.
Good to see you from Panama, Mr. Medina.
This is tough.
I don't know. These guys all suck. I'd go Kincaid and just hope for the Bills touchdown. Maybe there will be a game where they just decide, look what Laporta's doing. Kincaid could probably do this too, and he can. So I'm going to go Kincaid. I don't know. I'll just go for the touchdown in that offense.
Yeah, he's the only one that I guess has upside, but
yeah.
That's horrible. We do have a $2 super chat from Mr. Trace Saracinco.
Thanks, brother.
16
chipping away in the laptop.
16-team league, full point PPR. Chark, Cooks, Boyd.
I like Chark. Honestly, I think they're going to need to chuck and need big plays, and I don't know that they get them from Bryce Young, but Chark's got over 11 points in 2 of his last 3. I actually like Chark today. Cooks does intrigue me a little bit because he gets the Chargers and seems like he's just due to kind of have that big coming out party for the Cowboys, but he hasn't done anything yet. Literally nothing. So I think I go Chark. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, I'm surprised Cooks hasn't done anything. I thought he would be a really good receiver too there, but
yeah, he's getting cut in a lot of spots.
I would go Chark as well until Cooks can do something. And Boyd is just so bored.
Yeah. There we go, Trace. Good luck.
Jason Hernandez, should I start Herbert or Cousins? Gotta start Herbert.
Yeah, definitely Herbert.
Shootout. J Bull 83, just so everyone agrees, Donto over Solomon Ahmed.
I think so, yeah. It's a lot more risk with Ahmed, even though the ceiling might even be a little higher because of a piece of the Dolphins. But yeah, I agree Donto over Ahmed. And I'm a big Ahmed guy, so yeah.
Rich, I have JT and Madison. Should I start these guys or wait for Barkley?
I would go.
Seems like Barkley's gonna play. I'm not.
It does, but I still go. I go Madison. This is like Chuba over Barkley for me. There is the risk you get shut down, and then you're just such scrambling. And even if he plays, is it that great of a spot against the Bills? In a bad line, I think I go Madison here. What about you?
I think I'd wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd wait. I seen everyone on Twitter. It seems like all the writers think that Barkley's gonna play. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I go Madison.
He's also built like Superman, so never know. Reese Thomas, Lions or Raiders? D.
I go.
I have the Lions starting in 2 different spots. I'm gonna go.
I like the Raiders against the Pats. The Pats are so bad. I go Raiders.
Brent Estrella, Josh Downs or Salvin Ahmed?
Two of my favorite streamers today. I think Downs is a little safer, especially if you get points for receptions.
Yeah. Bruneel Jacobs. Should I start Pierce or DeMarcado with the flex? Full PPR. Pierce?
I'm going to go Damian Pierce there. Just a good offense. I know he's been so underwhelming. It's not the right scheme for him, but I'm not a believer in DeMarcado on these Cardinals backs. Like I think I'd rather wait and see there and see if somebody actually does emerge with Keontae Ingram actually active.
Tunes, I have no option but to play T. Higgins, or should I pick up Shark?
Yeah, at that point you go Higgins. You're not going Shark over Higgins.
Prana Shah, hey guys, what's your favorite drink during the fall season?
Apple cider, right? Like I love apple cider.
Got to go Shipyard with the
Sin Rim. Yeah, we're talking like booze drinks. Like, yeah, I mean Shipyard, Sin Rim. I've broken into my Sin Rim for the year, CJ, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I had one yesterday myself.
Last weekend, and I don't know if I could ever do it again on the weekend. I went to the Anchor. They do the ones where they can like dump a shot of like caramel or vanilla vodka, and I might have had 5 of them. And oh boy, the rest of the week that like ruined my weekend last weekend. I mean, thankfully there was good football on, just lay around and watch all day. But I did not. I was a slug last Saturday, and even into Sunday, I was kind of like, oh, they catch up to you fast.
Apple cider with vanilla vodka is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that too.
Prana Shah, pick 2 of these: Pierce, White, Foreman. I'm gonna go Pierce, Foreman for me.
I'm gonna go White Foreman myself.
And then PPR, pick 1: Elliott, Gibson, Murray. Gross.
I would go. I'd go. Oh, they're all garbage. I guess Murray and hope for a touchdown. I don't know. That is horrible.
Yeah.
Shot.
That is bad.
I go for Murray and for a touchdown. I guess. I mean that's bad.
And then PPR, flex one of these.
Is Ahmed gone? Honestly, I would say this. I would even go maybe Chris Brooks here. Like I said, Ahmed is my guy. If he's there, Krana, you got to go Ahmed over any of those 3. If Ahmed's out, I think I'd go Chris Brooks over any of those 3 either, and just hope that he's the guy. I don't know. I mean, Murray's the only other option there, but like, see if Salvin Ahmed's out there because he's a stud, and I would definitely not stud, but like stud compared to this. Like, I would feel way better about him.
And then Chuba or Downs, full PPR.
I think I go Chuba.
Yeah, probably.
I saw some stats about Chuba like over the last 3 years, how much he's like improved his efficiency too. So I think Chuba might just be getting like better and better, and this could be a sneaky, really solid game. I haven't running back 20. I mean, I'm pretty in. I'm invested in Chuba.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there.
I like him over Foreman too. We did get another super chat.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, I think I clicked it too.
Your local noob, Amari Cooper, Lockett, or Osborn.
Ooh, this is a good one. I honestly think these guys might be in my rankings like literally 3 after each other, which is always tough because then it means there's really no clear decide factor. So I'm updating the rankings. I bumped up Cooper. So let's see. I rank them. Listen to this. Tyler Lockett 32, Osborn 33, Cooper 34. I'm not even kidding. That's the exact order of my rankings.
I like that order.
The Lockett thing has me a little worried when that other user. I'm gonna pull him up real quick because he hasn't topped 60 yards apparently on the year. So I'm pulling up his game log. Let's see what we've got.
Yeah, he even had a 2 touchdown game, but he only had like 40 yards. It was weird.
Yeah. Okay. So we're looking half PPR here. Let me. Is the question PPR? I didn't say right. PPR versus half.
No, it doesn't say.
So Lockett. I mean, he's got one monster game, 21.9, and then 2.0, 6.9, 7.4. I can see why we're getting so many Lockett questions here. I really can. I don't know. I mean, it's Tyler Lockett, right? Like, I love Lockett. I do really like, honestly, I think the exact order I said it in is how I would do it. But if you wanted to go Osborn here, I would totally support that. Like, I'm on the verge of flipping Osborn and Lockett. Which means you probably should go the third one, the one that we're not talking about, Cooper. But Cooper, I feel like is the riskiest of these 3 with the highest ceiling. Like if him and PJ Walker had hit it off, and we've seen PJ Walker lock on to number ones before. It could happen. I'm gonna go Lockett. I feel best about Lockett here. I'm not changing the rankings. I feel good about staying firm there. What about you?
Yeah, I was thinking Lockett, then Cooper, Osborn. But
yeah,
either way, it doesn't matter. Lockett's one.
Lockett's the play. Thank you for the support, your local noob, and anybody else who wants to cut the line. We have about 25 more minutes before we got to sign off, get our lineups perfect. So you want to make sure you get your question in and want to cut the line and help CJ buy a new laptop, please consider send us a super chat.
Chrono Shah, Flex 1, Clark? Who's Clark? Or
Probably
Chark?
Chark. Probably Chark. I would go Ahmed of all three of these guys.
Ahmed, Algier, yeah. And then PPR pick 2 of these in the flex. Walker, Stevenson, Lockett, Gabe Davis.
It's got Walker. I love Walker. I mean, he's a great player, and I love Gabe Davis too. So pick 2 flex, Walker and Gabe Davis.
Yep, I'm with you. Ryan Bresler, this is full PPR, 2 different questions. Ramondre Ahmed, full PPR also.
Stevenson and Ahmed again. We keep getting it. Ahmed.
And then also Gabe Davis or Chris Godwin.
So I love Gabe Davis. I kind of like the stack. Certainly, if you have Josh Allen, I like it even better. But I actually like Gabe Davis in a vacuum. So I'm going Gabe Davis for sure. The Stevenson and Ahmed is really – it's so funny that we've gotten that. Like I said, I got it on Twitter about 6 times. And now on the show, we've had it, 4 times already? I mean, I kind of want to go Ahmed. I don't want Stevenson in my lineups. And something about Ahmed just feels juicy today. I don't know. Something about him feels good. I think I'm going Ahmed over Ramondre. Call me nuts. What would you do, CJ?
I'll get on your Ahmed train if you want me to.
I want you to tell me if you're on the train. I don't want to rip you on. I want you to tell me. Are you on the train or are you off the train?
I guess. I mean, I just love the offense. I don't really care about him as a player, but the offense is just so good that you can't trust the Patriots and really suck.
I think the only way that blows up in our face is it's only if Chris Brooks is actually the running back too. If whoever the number 2 running back is there I feel very confident in getting a quality role today and putting up solid stats. It could be Chris Brooks. I am betting on the fact that Ahmed was the guy before and Brooks was only active because of special teams. That could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm 100% right on this. If that's wrong, then Ahmed is going to be nothing. So there is definitely that risk with Ahmed. But whoever is the running back 2 for the Dolphins today, and if there's anybody, Campanelli, our investigator over there, maybe see if you can find anything like who's up first in warm-ups. I don't know if there's any tweets out there. I don't know if we're going to have any signs. If we get any research, we're going to have our guy dig in right now. If there's a sign that it's clearly Ahmed, which I think it's going to be, then he's a great play today. If it ends up being Brooks, he's a great play, and we were wrong, and then we're going to have to eat crow. For now, I feel like Ahmed over Stevenson. I don't know. But, yeah, I know we spent a lot of minutes on Ahmed throughout today, but he's kind of become my week 6 randomly guy. Like, out of nowhere, Ahmed has become the guy. Of all people, Solomon Ahmed. So we will see. I'm going him.
Maybe throw him in a touchdown parlay.
We should. His yardage was like 25.5. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Unless Chris Brooks is the number 2 running back, and then we're just wrong. We could be wrong. There's a very real chance we're wrong.
I know. I wonder what they have. I wonder what they have Chris Brooks' rushing yards at. And that would give us a better
2.5. All right. Well, CJ looks that up. And half PPR for Pat Sullivan. 2 receivers: Higgins, DK, Gabe, Collins, or Palmer. It's not Higgins, unfortunately. To me, DK is a no-brainer. You got to play him. So this one comes down to Nico versus Gabe Davis for me. I kind of like the daddy. What about you, CJ?
I need to.
This is your dilemma. So it's DK for one, and then Nico or Gabe for the other. It's kind of been your dilemma all year.
I know, and I always pick the wrong one. So just fade me, whatever I say. But I'm gonna go daddy here.
All righty, we're actually lined up on that one too. Like Swift or Mixon or Nico Kong. Are you back? Or are you still looking at the stats?
Yeah, I was just looking at.
Yeah,
you can go.
All right. I'm going to go Swift. I love Swift today. I don't bet Swift really in any leagues at this point. Top 10 running back play for the week. Jets can be had on the ground. I love Swift today. You could. I'll
No,
share
no,
about.
I was trying to. Yeah, I was trying to. I don't have Brooks, but George play 0-1, tour Fields, where Miami kills the game early and they run the ball.
I actually do have Fields higher. I think I shared the concern, George, and that's why I'm on Ahmed today. Is I think they just run the ball with the backup running back for the second half. I like Fields a lot. I'm not benching Fields today.
I'm with you, Daniel Dung. Do you think Saquon plays tonight, or should I be safe with Hubbard?
Daniel, I have the same exact dilemma. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. That's why I need to sign off at 12:45 and like meditate and figure out like what name comes to my mind as I let the thin air decide for me. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm so nervous of benching Saquon and then watching him have 30 points on Sunday Night Football. Like last time he was in, he was a monster.
I'm going Saquon.
Yeah. You told me earlier you would go Chuba.
No, I thought I said that. Just a few minutes ago I said I feel good about Saquon. Though.
2 minutes ago, yeah, but that was different than what you started this show with.
Yeah, I had to jump in on Twitter, see what's going on, see what the word is out there in the streets. I'm going Saquon myself. What are you doing?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to freaking do. I'm crapping myself over that decision.
I'm going Saquon.
I don't know if I can bench Saquon. What if he doesn't play? Is he going to screw me and like Hubbard does okay? All right. I'm going to, this one does come down to what you need. And I'm looking at I'm pulling up my own matchup just to kind of check this out. Like Andrews is up to 8.9. I like to see that. It's not great, but it puts me in a decent spot. He has Hopkins, who didn't do anything. Justin Tucker has 19 fucking points. Oh. I'm getting a 19-piece dropped on me by a fucking kicker. I might have to go Saquon. I might not have a choice here. Sorry for the language out there. Giants. God, this sucks. I hate this. I absolutely hate this. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go Hubbard. All right, we gotta keep going. Sorry, guys. the views drop dramatically as I weigh this out.
Steve Hernandez, Goddard or Komet? Full good guy.
Goddard. I think he had that blow up last week. Jets are really bad against tight ends, and their secondary is completely banged up. Looks like we did get a super chat as well.
I got it.
On ESPN, Brooks is second on the depth chart, and I wonder if but ESPN, like, are they tuned into anything specific?
I think it's just what the team releases. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Oh, we did get another super chat from your local noob as well. Thank you for double supporting your site here, your local noob.
Ford, DeMarcado, or Robinson? Of course, Robinson.
He might. If it's even Robinson, it's definitely not Bijan. Like, he's probably talking about Allen Robinson. I'd go Jerome Ford here.
No, wouldn't it be Brian Robinson?
It could be Brian. So if it's Brian Robinson, this is what we got to have better questions here, folks. And I thank you again for the support, your local noob. But there's about like 8 Robinsons this could potentially be. If it's Brian Robinson, he's my favorite. If it's Bijan, obviously he's my favorite. I don't think this would be a question. If it's Wan'Dale Robinson, it's not him. It's Jerome Ford. I kind of like Jerome Ford probably. I don't know. I guess Campanella, if you see if local noob he said Brian. He said Brian. Okay, so Brian. I would go Brian Robinson then. Yeah. Yeah. All righty. Thank you for the correction there, local noob. But yes, please. There's some names we just need to have some more context for.
Me too. So Broderick for CA, start 2.5 PPR. Barkley, Foreman, Hubbard, Gabe Davis, Downs, Drake London.
Barkley comes up again, huh?
Barkley, Gabe Davis.
I think so. Yeah. Barkley's putting me in a pretzel late here. I'm all over the place right now with Barkley. My gut's starting to say, like, you got to play Barkley. The Bills are sneaky, not even that scary of a matchup for backs. Like, they've allowed a decent amount of points to running back so far this year. They also did face the juggernaut of the Lions. I'm putting Barkley back in my lineup over Chuba Hubbard.
There you go.
What could go wrong?
Smart man.
I go Barkley and Gabe. Yeah, I go Barkley and Gabe. Campanelli's saying don't do it. I don't know. I'm going to flip flop back.
Flex one, full PPR for Campanelli, Osborn, and Kamara. Go to Kamara.
Yeah, Kamara. Yeah, you got to go Kamara. Houston, good matchup. 13 catches a week ago, 22 carries last week. Yeah, it's Kamara.
Sebastian Alex, good morning, my guys. Logan Thomas or Ertz. I like them both. Also bench Devonta Smith for Godwin or KJ.
Good questions. I like Logan Thomas more than Ertz, just a little bit more juice. Both are good options. And I would not bench either of those guys. I like KJ, but I like both those guys as players more.
Yeah, I agree with you. Steve Hernandez, Nico, or Ayuk full PPR?
I'm going to go Ayuk there. I still big Ayuk believer. Both guys in matchups, I'll go Ayuk. I think I might fire up the rapid fire here, CJ. We got 15 minutes or so until we want to get out of here. So just to make sure I get to everybody, Wolfpack, one last plea for your thumbs up. Get those questions on in. If you want a nice detailed answer, you want to cut this line, we'll keep our eyes peeled for super chats. But for now, I am firing up a rapid fire here. I would go Ayuk there, Steven, Hubbard, or White. I go Hubbard, bearded prince. I like that name. Chiller, that's what I'm looking for. Locks. Give me the money printer. There you go. Brandon Ayuk or Jacoby Myers. I'm going Brandon Ayuk there. Chillard says he's doing the TD prop bet with you. Because Wolf is for the people and great work. So yeah, thank us later, Triller, if we hit the right plays. But I liked all those plays. The only one that made me a little nervous was Bijan. Even though he's the best talent of the group, it's more so Arthur Smith. Howell, Goff, or Geno this week. I am going to go Geno. Lex, plant some trees. Jack, help you for your receiver. AJB, Nico, Pook, and Keenan start three. I bench Nico, but what an absolute stacked crew there. What's up, Justin? Priest, James Cook, Addison. You got to sit one. Ooh, tough to sit any of them. I think I sit James Cook, honestly. Ilias, Tua or Fields. We got that one a few times. I'm going to go Fields, though, over Tua today. Kyron, Olave, Godwin. I feel great about Kyron today. Arizona, a great spot for backs. Anderson, G. Wilson, Evans, McLaurin, play two. I'm going to go Mike, and I'm going to go Garrett over Addison. I don't know. That's tough. Garrett versus Addison, CD Aliens, very tricky. CJ, they want your touchdown plays again. It says Campanelli.
Someone answered it right below, I think. It's
okay.
I forget what it is. It's on my head.
So Juan Pena says Purdy or Herbert. I'm going definitely Herbert. He does say at 12:08, you got to chug a beer. I'm at the end. I'm still here. This is not the end yet. It's 12:30. If Juan Pena is still here, as of 12:32, if Juan Pena comments and he's still here, then I will end with a chug, sure. But 12:08, not the end. We're still going here. I'm holding out hope I don't have to chug another one. But Juan Pena probably is going to prove me wrong. He said he's going to be here till the end, and Juan Pena is usually here till the end. What have I done to myself? All right, Zach Ertz or Darren Waller for a super chat from your local noob, showing up 3 times today. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate your support of the site here and CJ's Laptop Fund. So Zach Ertz or Darren Waller? I think I got to keep with Darren Waller. He just is an offensive staple here. I know Tyrod is technically a downgrade, but is he really from Daniel Jones at this point? Waller is definitely the main vein of the passing attack. They're going to need to get the ball out quick. They seem to have figured out how to use him better. Waller himself was actually catching the rock and moving around well, so it looks like he's at least healthier. To me, Ertz is just so boring, and Waller at least gets you some juice as the upside. And you're looking at the one thing is you haven't mentioned. You said full PPR on one of your questions. I don't know if this is all for the same league. Ertz does get a little bit of boost in full PPR. He's got the third highest tight end target share in the year. I still go Waller. Do you go Ertz or Waller at all, CJ? Any leanings?
I'm going Waller there.
Yeah, I do too. We're locked up there. It's just way too much upside to pass up. Alrighty, and back to, let me find our place. We're at CD Aliens. Juan Pena telling me he was still here. So we'll see if Juan Pena is still here at 12:30. Half PPR, Myers, Gabe Davis, Waddle. Who should I sit? Ooh, tough one, hard danger. I'm going to sit Myers, and I really like Myers. I know I've said to bench Myers a few times today. I love Myers today, so it's more so the other options have just been really, really good. Okay, so we got you, your local noob. and we mentioned I would go Lockett over those other options, but they were all intriguing and close. Would you start Kirk Cousins over Howell, Garoppolo, and Dobbs? Definitely. Even without Jefferson Juan, I would definitely go to Cousins still. Pierce or Foreman for Mike Clay. I'm going to go Foreman there, Mike Clay. Pierce just has not shown nearly enough. Harv Danger, half PPR, need 2 wide receivers out of these 3. Davis, Myers, Waddle. I think we already did that one. I mentioned Myers, but it's close. Oh, and then Richard did comment in the 5 for CJ. Thanks on Josh Downs. I agree. I like him this week. Salvin Ahmed or Zeke Elliott, Jose? I'm definitely going Ahmed there. What up from Augustus? Good to see you, Mr. Forrester. Chuba or Chad White? I'm going to go Chuba over him myself. Falcons or Texans D? I'm going to go Falcons. Augustus, Devonta or Addison? Now with that secondary injuries, I'm going Devonta. With the Jets down their top 2 corners. Cooper or Downs? I'm going to go Cooper there. I like Downs as a streamer, but I got to go Cooper there, Bulldog. I think PJ Walker will lock in on him. I think that's one of my takes that kind of emerged in this show that I did not know I had, but I don't mind Cooper today. Start 3, KJ Osborn, AJ Brown, DJ Moore, Gabe Davis, Adam Thielen. You're always starting AJ Brown and DJ Moore. So now it comes down to the last spot, and I'm going to go Gabe Davis or Thielen. What do you think, CJ? That's a tough one.
Thielen's been so good. I'm going Thielen.
Yeah, you can't bench Thielen. He's rolling. Ayuk or Jacoby Myers, half-point PPR. I'm going to go Ayuk over Myers. Start 2 for Harv Danger. This is a repeat, like 3 times. Sorry for the multiple posts. You were at risk of being put in timeout, Harv Danger, but you ultimately you caught yourself. So you're not in the naughty bench. I feel like when we send people to the naughty bench, we've ended up sending them to the shadow realm and they're not allowed back, which I feel bad about. It says put them in timeout, and typically I just ban people for 3 minutes from questioning. This year, they've been banned for good, and that was not the intention. The timeout was supposed to be a slap on the wrist. I don't know what happened here in our platform, but we don't want to send Harv Danger. He caught himself, so you saved yourself. But yeah, again, I mentioned Myers there, even though I really, really do like him. Olave or James Cook, half PPR. He's laughing in there. Or James Cook, half PPR for my flex. Keeping Barkley on the bench this week. I know, Augustus, I don't know what I'm doing with Barkley. I've gone back and forth between him and Hubbard. Let me know what you do, Austin. I'm asking you. You're your usual Wolf. Would you keep Barkley on the bench for Hubbard? For these 2 guys, I probably would. For Hubbard, I don't know. I would go probably Olave over Cook as well here. Alrighty, that wraps up the questions. That wraps up everything, folks. Thank you again so much for being here. Greatly, greatly appreciate all your support here. We have, of course, all those super chats helping out CJ, the new laptop fund as well. But you guys are the best. All the content, all my rankings, RotoStreetJournal.com. I'm going to publish that last ranking set right now. Get all those last-minute updates up onto the site. And we will be live with the truth later today for a recap show right around 7:45. Come on in. Make sure on your way out, as Harv Danger says, give these guys a like. If you haven't subbed, we'd love to have you be a part of our channel. We're climbing our way to 5K. Maybe we'll hit it this season, maybe not, but would love to have you along either way. So thanks again so much for being here, Wolfpack. Best of luck today. Hopefully we got it right for you. Come bitch at us if we didn't, or come celebrate with us if we did. Later tonight, 7:45. We'll see you then. The Wolf of Finish, you be the Wolf guys.
See ya.
What do you say?